Whether you want to believe it or not, WWE made the focus of Monday Night Raw Braun Strowman. You're probably wondering why they made Braun Strowman the focus of Monday Night Raw. Why they fired him, why they rehired him, why they had him cause carnage all over the arena last night. They wanted to follow up with the devastation that he caused the week prior with the grappling hook and him bringing down the Monday Night Raw set, him ultimately crushing both Brock Lesnar and Kane. WWE had no other way to build up Braun Strowman going into the Royal Rumble following those events. It would be kind of illogical for them to end there. I give WWE creative credit for making Braun Strowman look like an absolute superstar. It makes me wonder now, even still, why he is not the Universal Champion. But WWE did this last night for one reason only. They want to make you, the viewer, the casual viewer, believe that Braun Strowman actually has a chance of winning this match. And in reality, he doesn't. So they're going to make Braun Strowman look as devastating as possible going into this triple threat match at the Royal Rumble, ultimately having him lose and not walk out with the championship. Not saying that he's going to take the pin at the Royal Rumble. I'm saying that he's not going to walk out as champion at the Royal Rumble, because there is no possible way anybody can believe that WWE is going to take that title off of Brock Lesnar and ruin their plans for Roman Reigns versus Lesnar at WrestleMania. They've gotten this far, and the likelihood of WWE switching up their plans now is zero. WWE had no other storyline going into this Monday Night Raw. So, like I said, I give them credit for coming up with creative ways for Braun Strowman to destruct everybody on Monday Night Raw, cause destruction on Monday Night Raw. But you have to wonder when the well is going to run dry. How many times can WWE dip into their bag of Braun Strowman committing murder, Braun Strowman flipping over vehicles, Braun Strowman chasing beavers away out of the production truck? You can't be doing that every single time you want to make Braun Strowman look like a monster. The well will run dry. I give them credit, and I give them credit for some creativity last night. I give them credit for some creativity the week prior with the grappling hook and him taking down the Monday Night Raw stage. But every single time you want to make Braun Strowman look like a monster, there's going to be less and less things for him to destroy. I did enjoy it, but it did take a focus away from the Royal Rumble. But I'm not too concerned about that, because the focus of the Royal Rumble really is never there. Every single year we get to this Royal Rumble build. The Royal Rumble builds itself. The Royal Rumble hypes itself. I would like to see superstars talking in an old school way. And maybe WWE does that with the 25th anniversary of Monday Night Raw next week. I'd like to see WWE superstars spread out through the show in front of the camera with that little picture-in-picture that they used to do. I'd like to see WWE superstars talking about why they're going to win the Royal Rumble or why the Royal Rumble is so important to them. I haven't seen that done in many, many years. WWE rarely does that picture-in-picture anymore with the WWE superstar talking about a certain situation, why they don't like this guy or why they're feuding with this guy or, what's coming up. I wish WWE would actually go back and dip into their old school bag of tricks and take out the little tumbler where wrestlers pick out a number and we don't know what number it is. We just see the disappointment on their face. We just see whether they're excited about the number that they got or they're disappointed in the number that they got. I wish we can go back to the days where we see Ted DiBiase pull out a number that he's not happy about and he looks to buy somebody else's higher number. I'd like to see stuff like that. WWE has lost focus on one of its biggest matches of the year, on its second biggest pay-per-view of the year. I don't understand why they just focus on one thing that is not really that important and will not be important after the Royal Rumble is over, instead of focusing on the Rumble itself. The Rumble itself and the winner of the Royal Rumble supersedes anything that they have going on right now. And WWE would rather build Braun Strowman up in comedic-like ways and showing him chasing beavers out of production trucks. Yes, I seen Kevin Dunn, and I wish it could be done every single week where Kevin Dunn is just driven off by Braun Strowman. We now have a way to get Kevin Dunn off of our televisions in Braun Strowman. But WWE did it because ultimately Braun Strowman is not going to win the match at the Royal Rumble. He will not be walking away with the Universal Championship, and he will not be taking the pin at the Royal Rumble. Kane will be most likely taking the pin, and WWE will have Brock Lesnar continue to run through WrestleMania season, just keeping that title warm for Roman Reigns. I did enjoy it. There were seeds of creativity. It was hilarious. The Titus catering bit got me to laugh, and I haven't really laughed at much lately. Him just standing there and choking Kurt Hawkins through the catering table, and everybody just sitting around eating catering, and this is why we joke about it. You think I joke about it just to poke fun at the guys. Meanwhile, it is reality, seeing all the guys that we don't see on television just sitting in catering during the show. And then somebody obviously just baked a beautiful Titus double chocolate chip cake, and he just stands there cowering in fear as Braun Strowman's like, I just worked myself up an appetite, and Titus just had this double chocolate chip cake just come out of the oven. I'll take a piece and go about my business. Where's Kevin Dunn? Kevin Dunn needs to get these hands. That kind of stuff was creative, and it made me chuckle. So WWE, I really wish that they would focus on the Royal Rumble. We still have 1 week. I doubt that there's going to be much focus at the 25th anniversary of the Royal Rumble, of Monday Night Raw for the Royal Rumble, but it is what it is, man. Braun Strowman was made into a superstar, if not already. He was already one of the most entertaining parts of the show. He was already one of the biggest parts of Monday Night Raw. They really focused on him in a very nice way last night, but ultimately, where is it going? It's not going anywhere. And ultimately, all roads lead to Lesnar and Roman Reigns, and Braun Strowman still will be left empty-handed. And one has to wonder how much of this can continue on Monday Night Raw. Is it going to be beneficial for WWE to keep Braun Strowman on Monday Night Raw? Will there be another shakeup? Will there be another draft? Will Braun Strowman have a better chance or a better opportunity to be the biggest guy in the company, meaning championships around his shoulder? One has to wonder, and this is what I've been thinking about. Does Braun Strowman have a better chance to survive on SmackDown Live? Does he have a better chance to move up the ladder on SmackDown Live instead of being on Monday Night Raw, where right now he's being suppressed? He's being suppressed for two reasons. One, Lesnar is holding the title hostage. Two, he's keeping it warm for Roman Reigns. There's no room for Braun Strowman to be a world champion, even though he's proven time and time again how worthy he is of a world championship. Time will tell what they do with Braun Strowman. Time will tell where Braun Strowman ends up and what happens to him in the future. But one entertaining night isn't going to make Monday Night Raw. One entertaining skit here and there with Braun Strowman isn't going to make Monday Night Raw a good show. Because looking back on it, you're not going to take all those clips and mash them together and say, yeah, Monday Night Raw was a good show. It wasn't. This show was a complete throwaway show that accomplished nothing for the Royal Rumble. And I hope you guys understand that. The Revival. I want to get excited about the Revival. I want to get excited about how they came off on the microphone. I want to get excited about what they spoke about last night. But the one thing in the back of my mind when I watched this last night just gave me chills. And it brought back horrible memories of what WWE did with the Ascension. The Ascension mentioned tag teams of old when they first came to Monday Night Raw and what happened to them. The tag teams of old destroyed them on Monday Night Raw and pretty much picked apart the remaining pieces of what was the Ascension, and they were never the same again. I have an absolutely terrible feeling that the Revival cutting this promo on everybody in the back, saying that everybody in the back is afraid, saying that they're professional wrestlers and not sports entertainers, saying that they are the old school. That line right there just got me wondering, when they roll on into the Barclays Center next week for Raw 25, how many of those old schoolers, how many of those old school tag teams, the Dudleys, JBL and Ron Simmons are going to be there, APA is going to be there, whoever else is going to be there, Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. Who knows what WWE is going to pull out of their bag of bullshit. I have a terrible feeling that WWE is going to do the same thing to the Revival that they did to the Ascension, and they're going to bury the Revival on Monday Night Raw by having all these old school tag teams come out in defense of what they said tonight. And that would be an absolutely horrible way for this team to end up. After the year that they've had, ridden with the injury bug, unfortunate, circumstance after unfortunate circumstance, I don't want to see them buried on Monday Night Raw. If that is going to be what you're going to do with a team like the Revival, that is the very best that you could come up for a team like the Revival, then just send them back down to NXT where they know and we know they will be utilized brilliantly. Because everybody would love to see O'Reilly Fish versus the Revival. You can't get more old school than that. That just reeks of old school right there, Or the Revival versus Street Profits. Or the Revival versus TM61 when they come back. You ain't doing anything with the Revival right now, and you're setting us all up for disappointment. They have gold in the Revival. They have tag team champions. They have a tag team that can carry that division on their back in the Revival. Yet they want to have them cut promos and have their fans be fearful of what is to come next week on Raw 25. Believe me, it's coming. And if it doesn't happen, I will be absolutely in shock that WWE didn't take the same road with the Revival like they did the Ascension. Other than that, this show was a complete throwaway show. Nothing happened on this show. The lack of the Royal Rumble build, the Revival. I do want to mention, before we get into the full-fledged review, I do want to mention the curb stomp coming back. Everybody was going crazy over the curb stomp coming back. Everybody marked out over the curb stomp coming out. I don't know why WWE brought the curb stomp back on Monday Night Raw in that match with Finn Balor on Martin Luther King Day. I don't know why they brought it back for that instance. It wasn't a big match. It was a rematch of sorts from their rematch at SummerSlam for the Universal Championship for the first time ever. But I don't know why WWE brought the curb stomp back in that instance. And you can tell why, from the ending of that match, you can tell why WWE banned the curb stomp or took away the curb stomp from Seth Rollins to begin with. Because the way Finn Balor's head hit that mat, with the force of Rollins with his foot in the back of Balor's neck, driving Balor's face and head and everything else into the mat, you can see why they banned the curb stomp. Balor was fucked up after the curb stomp. And it makes you wonder if we will ever see it again, because legitimately Finn Balor looked completely in a different world. He was fucked up. You seen bruising on Finn Balor's face if you look closely. Balor was a fucked up individual last night. And it makes you wonder why they brought it back on that specific day for that specific match when it really wasn't that big of a match to begin with. I understand WWE wanted to make it seem like this epic rematch main event on Monday Night Raw, but it was for nothing. It really wasn't for anything. And why they would risk injury to Finn Balor now when he's starting to finally get momentum under himself with this Balor Club thing and him finally building momentum going into the Royal Rumble. He is one of the rumored names to win the Royal Rumble. Why they would risk injury to Finn Balor now before the Royal Rumble with that move. I don't understand WWE's logic behind that. I'm going to have a very difficult time believing we will see the curb stomp again anytime soon after what we've seen last night. It's just a dangerous move. It can be done in a way where it looks like it's going to do its job. Last night it did its job a little bit too good. And Balor did not look like Finn Balor after that match was over. I was legitimately concerned, as was Gallows and Anderson, for Finn Balor's health. He looked like he was on another planet. So it's going to be interesting to see if WWE is going to continue having Seth Rollins use the curb stomp, or if he's just going to continue using that Kingslayer knee that he ripped off of Kenny Omega. So we're going to see what happens with that, but it definitely was a talking point for Monday Night Raw last night. This is your official Monday Night Raw review for last night's show. I believe it was the 15th of January, 2018. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me. We're going to go over the entire show right now. We're going to listen back to certain parts of the show. I got the intro lined up, and I got the Revival's promo lined up. Other than that, it really wasn't an entertaining show whatsoever. It was a missable 3-hour show outside of the Revival promo and Braun Strowman's destruction of Monday Night Raw being fired for what he did to Brock Lesnar and Kane the week prior. I want to thank all you guys for following me on Twitter at JDFROMNY206. I want to thank everybody for subscribing to the channel. I did lose a number of subs thanks to a bunch of snowflakes who easily got triggered and salty over my Paige video. I did my job. You clicked on the video, you watched the video, or most of you did not. You just took it based off the title, and then you disliked the video without actually hearing what I had to say. But that's okay. You clicked on the video anyway. So my job was done, my revenue was made, and my point was across. Whether you want to believe me or not, whether you want to listen to my opinion on it or not, you were the ones who took the title the wrong way and didn't watch the video and based my judgment on the title of the video. Do I care that I titled the video that way? Absolutely not. I do not care. And I don't care one bit. You watched the video. I did my job. Okay? I don't see people crying that Tyson Kidd was forced to retire, right? I don't see people coming to the aid of Tyson Kidd after Samoa Joe nearly killed him in the ring, and he had a 10% survival rate from the neck surgery that he had. Nobody made a big deal about that, though, right? I mentioned something about Paige and how I don't care about Paige really being retired. I never said anything about Paige or not feeling bad about Paige. I never uttered those words. I never said Paige was going to get fired. I never said I didn't feel bad for Paige being a 25-year-old female, not being able to live out the rest of her dream in the WWE. I did say that this is a chapter that is closed, and this is another chapter that is ready to be written. Paige will not be going anywhere. Paige is going to have a role on television. Whether WWE wants to use Paige in a better light on television, that's up to them. I don't take this notion that everybody's talking about. Well, JD, how can you be so insensitive? She's 25 years old. She had the rest of her career to look forward to. When has the WWE had any care for the women outside of their political agenda by pushing firsts and getting Stephanie McMahon and her name all into everything that they do? When has WWE creatively cared about the women to push them in a way that's going to benefit them as individual performers? When? You'll be sitting there asking yourself that question, and you're going to wonder why I said what I said. Do you have any faith in WWE to push the women and make them, legendary characters on television? The only one that has any legendary aura or backing behind them is Charlotte, because she's the daughter of Ric Flair. By the end of her run, she's going to have just as many title reigns as her father. Sasha Banks. You know how many times I heard Sasha Banks could be the greatest of all time? You think WWE is going to push Sasha Banks to win multiple championships and do this and that and all this other nonsense? No. So why do you think I'm going to sit here and wonder what if Paige was still able to wrestle and healthy enough to wrestle, being that she's 25 years old, that she didn't even get into her career yet? I don't have any respect for people that didn't appreciate what they had to begin with. I didn't. You want to know why I said the things I did about Paige? It's because her career was ruined before anything happened. Paige was reckless with her career before she was given a third chance on WWE television. Paige didn't appreciate what she had to begin with. Drug policy violations, sex tapes, defecating, world championships in bed with another man. You guys seen the video. WWE suspending her for a second time. Her antics with Del Rio, getting into chaos and airport fights and outside his restaurant and just drunken Periscope videos with Del Rio, him bashing the company and her being in the same video as him bashing the company, the same company that she works for. It's as if she didn't even care. If she cared about the WWE, if she cared about her position in the WWE, if she cared about anything of her career in the WWE, she would have excommunicated herself from all those things and concentrated on one thing and one thing only, and that is getting back into ring shape and making sure she is for the WWE. I don't care about what happened to Paige in that sense, because she's lucky she even got a third opportunity. Her career was already over to begin with. One more drug policy violation and she would have been over. She would have been fired. So I can sit here and tell you until I'm blue in the face how I understand everybody's frustration with how Paige isn't going to be able to do what she can do now at the age of 25. But I'm not going to sit here and have any sympathy on somebody for somebody who was as reckless with their career as Paige was. Do I feel bad? Absolutely. You know, then I got people coming out and saying, well, JD, if this was AJ Styles, if this was Sami Zayn, if this was Samoa Joe, if this was any of your indie marks, you'd be crying a river of tears. You're right, because none of those people ruined their career like Paige did. Okay? They were consummate professionals. Paige was not. And I don't care what anybody says about the video that I did on Paige. Those are my thoughts about it. Do I feel bad? Absolutely. I would feel bad for anybody who lost their job. I've lost my job. Okay? I could lose my channel. Everybody could lose their channel. Jake Paul is going to lose his channel. You know? There'll be people who don't feel bad. There'll be people that feel bad for him after what he did. But I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat anything for you guys when that is my opinion and that's the way I see things. And you know what? More people agree with me than disagree with me because there was just as many thumbs up as there was thumbs down. I hold no regrets about what I said. And if you don't like it, move on to someone else. You guys know why you come here. And it's because I don't sugarcoat anything. Thank you guys for supporting Harry's. Harry's.com/script. If you guys want to get your free shave set, you guys have been kicking ass with that. Harry's.com/script. You're going to get a almost $15 value. You're going to get a razor handle, razor blades, a protective razor case, and you're going to get some shave gel just for signing up, man. All you guys got to do is pay shipping and handling. It's like $2 or $3. You guys pay shipping and handling. You guys are going to get the best shave of your life. So make sure you guys go and visit harrys.com/script. Also, all new listeners of the show, Audible is still giving you guys 1 month free of their service and a free audiobook of your choice. audibletrial.com/offthescript. Make sure you guys go and check that out. Great way to support the show for doing absolutely nothing but listening to the words that come out of my mouth. Thank you guys so very much. Let's get into Monday Night Raw. We are going to start off with Braun Strowman starting the show, telling us a story of a beast and a monster. And Kurt Angle has a problem with what Braun Strowman did the week prior, destroying the Monday Night Raw set, causing carnage on Brock Lesnar and Kane. Braun Strowman fired on Monday Night Raw by Kurt Angle.
I want to tell you all a short story. A short story with a happy ending. You see, a beast and a machine met a monster at the Royal Rumble. And the last one standing was the monster among men. And he became the new Universal Champion.
You could have maimed Brock Lesnar and Kane last week for life. You put lives in danger, and that is unacceptable.
It could have been a lot worse.
Listen, Braun, you create an unsafe working environment. I'm in charge of every WWE superstar and every backstage employee. What if they get caught in the crossfire?
I look at it this way. You do your job. I did mine last week.
But that's the point. That's the point. You didn't do your job. We settle things in the ring.
You know, people, I want to mention this as I'm watching this because I did see some people come across my Twitter feed complaining about how Kurt Angle is different now than when he first was given the job of Raw General Manager. Some people were saying that he is too authority-like now. You know, I don't mind that because Kurt Angle at least isn't being tormented by Stephanie McMahon every week. He's not being tormented by Triple H every week. He's doing his own thing. He's doing what he has to do. He's doing what a boss should do, you know, who has to run a 3-hour program. You can't be having Braun Strowman commit murder every single week. So obviously he needed to take care of it in a in a way where he comes off serious and he means what he says. So I really don't mind the authority figure, Kurt Angle. He's just doing what a general manager has to do to protect his brand. So everybody that was complaining, just calm down a little bit. It isn't that bad or as bad as you're making it look to be.
Not backstage with some grappling hook.
I do what I want, when I want, and how I want. If I want to walk into Suplex City and rip the walls down, that's what I'll do. If I want to kick the door into hell, that's what I'll do.
I like Braun on the mic.
And at the Royal Rumble, if I want to be Universal Champion, I will.
You're just lucky that Brock and Kane are still able to compete in the championship match. But unfortunately, it's not going to be a triple threat match anymore. As a matter of fact, you're not going to compete at all. Braun Strowman, you're fired.
Now, at this point, I was thinking one of three things, actually. One, Braun is not really fired. He'd make his way back into the match before we actually get to the Royal Rumble. Two, why would WWE even contemplate just giving us a Brock Lesnar versus Kane match at the Royal Rumble? I mean, hand me a shot of bleach, please. Make it a triple. Nobody would want to see that. And the third thing that I was thinking is why they would fire Braun Strowman 1 night removed from the debut of the Mixed Match Challenge, where he's going to team up with Alexa Bliss. And that team was one of the odds-on favorites to win this entire tournament, spanning 6 or 7 weeks, however many weeks that they got this thing going on Facebook Watch. Why they would fire him right before that, leaving Alexa with no partner. It doesn't make any sense. So those are the things that I was thinking about when Kurt Angle made the announcement that Braun Strowman was fired. Now, with the announcement of Braun Strowman being fired, we've seen the antics play out through the show, and I'll go over them as we get on through the review. But that's the way Monday Night Raw opened up, and those were the things that I was thinking about when they terminated, quote-unquote, Braun Strowman from Monday Night Raw. After that, we seen Braun Strowman being harassed by security guards. Braun was taken away up the ramp, and Braun was in the back. One of the security guards got a little bit too forceful with him. He put his hands on Braun Strowman, and you gotta love these security guards, these indie wrestlers or these enhancement talents that they get to play the role of the security guards, man. These guys are not afraid of taking bumps. And it's great to see Braun Strowman just have his way with these guys and them sell like fucking superstars for Braun Strowman. These guys were flying all over the place. Braun was throwing guys into a table. He threw one guy into a table. He threw one guy into the steel gate that was there in the back, in the parking garage. He threw him against the garage with the steel gate down, and then he just walked away. He said that he's not leaving until everybody gets these hands. And WWE is going to, if they have not already, or if it's not in production already, get these hands is going to be the next Braun Strowman t-shirt. Because he's been saying it, WWE's going to pick up on what he said, and they're going to market it, and they're going to turn it into merchandise, and they're going to make money off of it. That's what they do. So I liked that. I chuckled at the fact that Braun Strowman was just treating these guys like fucking candy. He's popping these guys into his mouth, just fucking destroying these guys. Good stuff. But you guys know how I felt about it in the opening of this Monday Night Raw review. It ultimately was the Braun Strowman show, and it took real focus away from the bigger deal, which is the Royal Rumble, and they put more focus on Braun Strowman and him when he ultimately will not be winning the Universal Championship. The Bar versus Titus Worldwide. I'm watching this, and I'm wondering to myself, why do I care? I just don't care. We seen this match last week. I don't want to see it again. This is WWE just being creatively lazy. I thought that the Bar was going to get a rematch here and win. It was the opposite. Titus Worldwide wins again because of some fuckery. This time there was no chaos. It was just the music of Jason Jordan and Jason Jordan coming out, distracting the Bar on the top of the Monday Night Raw ramp. Cesaro tags in. He goes for the neutralizer. Apollo Crews. Very, very impressive is Apollo Crews. The athleticism that Apollo Crews possesses is something that I would like to see more. The guy just doesn't have a personality. The guy doesn't have, look at me written all over him. He's just very generic. And putting him with Titus Worldwide, yes, it's getting him some exposure. It's getting him some television time. It's getting him a role on television. But in the end, he's nothing but a jobber. And WWE, for whatever reason, is giving these guys a few wins over the former tag team champions. And it's really not going to go anywhere. You're not going to be taking Titus Worldwide seriously going forward. Maybe WWE is in desperate need of tag teams. And WWE is trying to get these guys some momentum. They're trying to see if they can gauge a reaction from the fans with Apollo Crews and Titus O'Neil. Maybe. I wouldn't be opposed to that. But it's very difficult to care about these guys after they sat in catering all year and they did nothing with these guys all year. Apollo Crews has done nothing all year. Titus O'Neil was busy with Akira Tozawa most of the year, trying to get him his Cruiserweight Championship when Neville was around. Why am I going to care about these guys getting a win 2 weeks in a row over the former tag team champions when I haven't given a shit about these guys all year? It's very difficult for a viewer to do that. And it doesn't work that way. You're not going to put these guys on television, have them pull out a miracle win over the former tag team champions, and all of a sudden people are going to care about them. It's not the way things work. They have no character. They have no must-see written all over them. Nothing. So Cesaro goes for the neutralizer. Crews ends up hitting a big cross body off the top. Crews with a standing moonsault on Cesaro. 2 count. Pin is broken up. The Bar in control. Sheamus tags back in. They go for a double team white noise, but out comes Jason Jordan. He stands on the stage. Crews takes advantage of the distraction, rolls up Sheamus for the win. And they, again, are shocked. I don't know what they're doing here with the Bar. I really don't. That's 2 losses in a row now. I don't know the booking going into the Royal Rumble. I don't know what they do with them next week on Raw 25. Maybe they book this match again and the Bar gets a win over Titus Worldwide. I don't know. But as history shows itself, if the Bar is losing this many times going into the Royal Rumble, they may actually end up taking the tag team titles back from Rollins and Jordan. And we might see some dissension there with Rollins and Jordan. I don't know. They really lost me with this entire tag team title feud. I really don't care right now what's going on with the tag team titles. It was, oh shit, shocking at first. Everybody was talking about Dean Ambrose, and him coming back and kind of turning heel on Seth Rollins for kind of just finding a new tag team partner and winning the tag team titles one day after he was deemed injured. We don't know what's going on with the tag team titles, but right now, I couldn't give one fuck about the tag team titles on Monday Night Raw. Titus Worldwide, though, picks up another victory over the former tag team champions. Braun Strowman in catering. He warned everybody he's going to destroy everything. He chokeslams Kurt Hawkins through the catering table. He eats chocolate cake. It was entertaining, to say the least. Titus Catering was set up for destruction last night at the hands of Braun Strowman. Cedric Alexander and Tony Nese. So Enzo Amore comes out. He takes a shot at Kurt Hawkins' losing streak, talking about how he will leave the Royal Rumble with the Cruiserweight title. Enzo says if Cedric Alexander is going to get him at the Rumble, he has to go through Tony Abbs first. Alexander comes out, then Goldust comes out, still wondering what Goldust has to do with the Cruiserweight division and why these guys aren't wrestling. Why Cedric Alexander isn't wrestling a Seth Rollins, or Cedric Alexander isn't wrestling an Elias, or something like that. Something along those lines. If Goldust can make the transition from the main roster to 205 Live and mingle with the Cruiserweights, then the Cruiserweights should be able to mingle with the big boys as well. I hope that this is a door slowly, being opened here on Monday Night Raw. Goldust knocks Enzo and says if he was a film, he'd be straight to DVD, while Cedric is a box office smash, a blockbuster, and when he defeats Enzo at the Royal Rumble for the Cruiserweight Champion, one word will only describe him, and that is champion. Goldust also has one word for Enzo. Cedric helps him out and does the soft line. And we have Cedric Alexander versus Tony Nese. Nothing out of the ordinary here. Nese blocked a lumbar check. He takes Cedric down into a headlock. Nese fights off counters and elbows by Cedric. More back and forth here. Nese with a big kick and a big knee on his way to a victory. They trade holds. Cedric counters, pump handle slam, lumbar check. He pins Tony Abs with the lumbar check on Monday Night Raw. Kurt Angle's backstage talking to a referee about Braun Strowman's destruction tonight. Another referee runs in and says Braun is headed for the production truck. Uh-oh. He's headed towards Kevin Dunn. Angle yells that they're worth $12 million as they run off to stop Braun Strowman. So Strowman enters the backstage area. He's standing in front of a production truck. He's threatening to shut the show down. I wish he did that. I wish we had Braun Strowman around many years ago to shut this show down. You know, if only we can shut this show down and have Braun Strowman shut it down when it's this bad. So it's bullying the workers around and throws papers. Braun yells at everybody, telling him to get out of the truck, and they scramble like fucking ants. They think he's gone, and they return to their stations, but Braun isn't finished. Braun disengages a tractor from the production trailer. Braun then steps out of the truck and tries to turn it over. Obviously, this was, cut with different camera angles. There's no way, being how we all know how strong Braun Strowman is. Obviously, WWE worked some production magic here to give you the illusion of him flipping over the fucking truck. So Kurt Angle walks up and starts yelling at Braun. He walks away. Angle's phone is ringing off the hook. Braun comes back and Angle yells at him as he tips over the truck. Braun yells in Angle's face and kicks some more things around as he walks off. Braun is walking through the back as two security guards try to stop him. Braun tells them to get out of his way, but they keep following him into the backstage area. Braun then enters the arena and stops on the stage and looks over at the announcers. They try to scramble, and Braun Strowman, like a fucking Tyrannosaurus Rex, just grabs fucking Michael Cole and drags him over to the side of the stage where all the security guards are at. Braun looks to toss Cole off the stage, and Angle appears with security, saying that he just got off the phone with Stephanie McMahon, and Stephanie McMahon rehired Braun Strowman. He is still in the match at the Royal Rumble. It is now a triple threat match again. Angle just wants Braun to let Michael Cole go. So Braun drops Cole and yells out, does his Braun scream. Braun then turns back to Michael Cole, tosses him off the stage on top of a group of security guards. He landed safely in the arms of the security guards. Angle looks just befuddled at this point. And Tom Phillips then makes his way out to commentary, and he takes over the commentary duties, which was a breath of fresh air on Monday Night Raw, by the way, for Michael Cole, stating the reasons that Michael Cole is severely shaken up by the actions of Braun Strowman, and that he's going to be filling in for Cole the rest of the evening. So it wasn't really that bad. It was a creative way, but again, I stress, how many different times and how many different scenarios can WWE come up with and dip into their bag of Braun Strowman trickery? How many times can WWE do this to build Braun Strowman up when they get into these moods? They're running out of ideas. It's good for the first time. It's good for the second time. The third time, WWE might not be so lucky in their creative ways. Asuka versus Nia Jax. People were worrying that Nia Jax was going to defeat Asuka here. I was not worried at all. People were worried that Nia Jax was injured in this match. I will talk about that in a second. Asuka drops Nia with a knee bar. Nia is screaming, crawls to the bottom rope, breaks the hold. Nia sends Asuka to the floor through the ropes. Nia then catches a kick and drives Asuka back into the apron as the referee begins his 10 count. Asuka then takes out Nia's leg, and it's in between the steel steps. And she falls down, and she kind of tweaks her knee on the way down. Nia goes down. Asuka's in the ring. Nia makes it back into the ring by a 9 count. The referee checks on Nia, but she's selling the leg injury. Nia tries to get her leg up, and she can't stand. She can't stand at all, and the referee calls for the bell, and the referee stops this match by stoppage. So Asuka wins by stoppage. Now, Nia Jax wasn't hurt. Asuka wins. Asuka's undefeated streak remains. Nia was not hurt. This was all done for storyline purposes. Alexa Bliss came out. There was an official. There was a medical doctor there. You knew this was a work. You knew this was a storyline injury just based on the fact that Enzo, after the fact, went to the trainer's room to check on Nia Jax. So Nia wasn't hurt. Nia is being built up as a dominant force in the Royal Rumble. You would have known. You would have known that if Nia was hurt, it would have undertook a more serious tone, and it did not do that. But this was a complete storyline work. Nothing happened here. Nia is fine. As soon as you seen Enzo come to the aid of Nia Jax, you knew that it was all done for storyline purposes. The bigger thing here is that Asuka won. They made Nia continue to look strong. However, they're making her look. She didn't get pinned. You know, most people probably thought that Asuka was going to run through Nia Jax and make either Nia Jax submit or take the pin there. But they kept her looking strong going into the Royal Rumble, and I give WWE credit for not, doing that to Nia, but also at the same time for keeping Asuka undefeated going into the Royal Rumble. Kudos to them. Nia is fine, all done for storyline purposes. So we go from the situation with Nia Jax to Jason Jordan pretty much coaxing his father, Kurt Angle, to give Seth Rollins a singles match against Finn Balor. So it was Jason Jordan who recommended Seth Rollins go one-on-one with Finn Balor because it was Seth Rollins' loss that was eating him alive. So he recommended that Seth Rollins get into a singles match to kind of redeem himself, as if Jason Jordan, needs Rollins to prove something to him. So they're going back and forth on that. Jason Jordan just kind of throwing himself into these important situations and making himself feel more important than he really is. So it's going to be interesting to see where they go with that. After that, it was the Revival versus Aaron Solow and Ricky Starks. This was really nothing to talk about. It was a shatter machine for an easy win, squash match. The most important thing here was the Revival's promo as they talk about themselves being back and the state of the tag team division.
Are you sure you finally want to give the Revival a live mic on national television in front of millions of people? Because if that's the case, bring it a little closer. What you just witnessed was tag team excellence, a clinic in tag team wrestling. And that's something that's been missing here for quite some time because too many guys are worried about running to the back and playing video games with their friends or checking their Instagram for the amount of likes they got on a picture, but not Dash and myself. We are students of this game. All we're worried about is punishing our opponents, mastering holds, and winning matches. That's it.
Okay, well, since you are such students of the game, which old school legends are you most excited to meet next week at the Raw 25th anniversary
This is what I said.
show?
This is why I said what I said.
The New Age Outlaws? Shawn Michaels? Maybe Stone Cold Steve Austin?
Old school. Those guys, old school. There is absolutely nothing old school about beer bats and crotch chops. Those
they are going to get
reasons
their asses
that
kicked
this
next
business,
week, and this
our
is why I
business
said what I
has
said.
become a mockery. See, we're not sports entertainers. We are professional wrestlers.
Exactly. And look, hey, we're not a creation of the WWE boardroom. We're as real as it gets. And look, they know it. They know it. And they don't want us to succeed here, okay? Because if they try to change who we are, we ain't gonna let it happen. They will not change who we are. Next week, Raw 25, live. There are gonna be a ton of superstars and entertainers from around the globe. But this is our universe. And there's only one team that's gonna set the tone for Monday Night Raw for the next 25 years, and Jack, you're looking at them.
They got their point across, and I love the old school feel of that promo with Scott Dawson speaking and Dash adding his 2 cents. I just don't see this ending up being a good thing. I really don't. They mention those guys for a reason. They mention those old schoolers for a reason. She asks what Hall of Famers or what legends are you excited to see next week at Raw 25 for a reason. Believe me, it's coming. The revival is going to be the Ascension 2.0. Watch. If not, I'd be completely shocked. We have The Miz coming out, and he is introduced by Elias. He plays a new ballad. We're going to listen to what Elias has to say. And then The Miz is in the ring for a promo where he goes on to say he is going to win back the Intercontinental Championship. So we'll get into that for a second. Let's go over what Elias had to say last night on Monday Night Raw.
Who wants to walk with Elias? First things first, I hope Michael Cole is okay. And I'm here tonight for two reasons. The first is to teach you all a lesson. And once you absorb this lesson, your lives will be better for it immediately.
Elias is going to be the Iron Man of the Royal Rumble.
WWE stands for. Don't you ever forget it. The other reason is that I'm here to remind you all that the Royal Rumble is on the horizon. Now, there are many superstars involved. Shinsuke Nakamura, Finn Balor, Randy Orton. But I'm more concerned with one superstar. In fact, I went ahead and wrote a song, and it goes like this. Talked to my father, told him I hope John Cena comes my way. I've got retribution for him for what he did on Christmas Day. I'll eliminate John Cena. I'll throw him to the floor. Drown his sorrows with 29 more. It's the Royal Rumble, and Elias will prevail. Unlike the Spurs, who are desperate to fail.
Man, Elias is fucking great, dude. Elias is great. I wanted to play that clip just for that. There's two reasons why I wanted to play that clip. Normally it's just Elias singing, but that line was great, number one. Number two, first it was Samoa Joe, who mentioned John Cena. Samoa Joe might not even be in the Royal Rumble. I hope he is, but he might not even be in the Royal Rumble after being injured. Apparently he's got a foot problem. He's going to be out 2 to 6 weeks. Now they got Elias mentioning John Cena. On top of that, WWE, I already told you, they uploaded the 2000, 2003, 2008, 2013, and then this would be 5 years. So WWE uploaded the 2008 Royal Rumble, where John Cena won in Madison Square Garden by eliminating Triple H, right? Remember I said that? They uploaded the 2013 Royal Rumble in full on their YouTube channel, where he eliminated Ryback to win the Royal Rumble. And 5 years to the day is going to be another Royal Rumble. 5 years. So every 5 years, John Cena will win a Royal Rumble. Now they just recently uploaded John Cena and AJ Styles from last year's Royal Rumble, 2017, in full, with him winning the WWE Championship. The mentions of John Cena here by Elias and Samoa Joe, the John Cena references on YouTube, with the videos being uploaded, you're getting me scared. Why is everybody targeting John Cena? What is the inside info that John Cena has here that everybody's targeting John Cena? Why is John Cena such a threat to the Royal Rumble? I don't understand that. There's a reason why Joe mentioned Cena. There's a reason why Elias mentioned Cena. There's a reason why WWE has uploaded those things to YouTube in light of John Cena. I'm hoping that what I reported is false news, is fake news. I really do. Think about it.
The Spurs can't do nothing to me, okay? Now, I need everybody to listen up because I was paid a significant amount of money for this next part. Don't adjust your sets. What you're seeing is real. No, it's certainly not a mirage. Coming to you, he's A-list. He's must-see. Ladies and gentlemen, it's The Miz with The Miz Taraj. Awesome!
So wait a minute. Cass was paid money to write that song, and he couldn't even rhyme the lyrics.
he just wrote a song about the A-lister Miz. You had to have loved that.
So The Miz comes out. He doesn't say anything that we haven't heard him say before. He goes on to say that he warns Reigns of the title is coming back home. He made it prestigious, yada, yada, yada. Miz declares that he will walk into the Barclays Center next week and reclaim the title, and he will make it feel awesome again. And then out comes Roman Reigns. This wasn't really anything. I mean, this was just typical fucking garbage to get Roman Reigns over again. Nothing out of the ordinary here. Reigns in a 2-on-1 handicap match with Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas. Reigns goes to finish off this match, but Miz gets on the apron to distract him, of course. The 3-on-1 numbers game. Dallas charges, but Reigns sends him to the floor. Reigns with a Superman punch on Axel. Reigns leaves the ring, nails a Superman punch off the steel steps onto Bo Dallas. Reigns stares at the Miz and rolls him into the ring. Miz goes right to the floor, and Reigns grabs his coat, trying to stop him. Axel takes advantage, rolls Reigns up from behind for a very close near fall. Reigns gets up, runs the ropes, hits the spear. 1, 2, 3. That was it. Nothing out of the ordinary. I do have a feeling that we will see a new champion next week, and I hope I am wrong. I don't want to see The Miz with the Intercontinental Championship. I think he has done more to harm that title than anything. If it goes back to The Miz, it's not going to be any better than it is now on Roman Reigns. I think the Intercontinental Championship honestly needs someone new, someone fresh to breathe new life into it. It's not The Miz, it's not Roman Reigns. So we'll see what happens, man. I'm still undecided on what they're going to do with the IC title. I think Joe would have been the perfect man to put that title on. But there's just something in the back of my mind that does not think that the WWE is going to take the title of Reigns and he's going to hold that title going into WrestleMania, and we're going to get a champion versus champion match at WrestleMania. I am sticking to that. If we don't see it, I will gladly admit I'm wrong. I just don't want to see The Miz as the champion. I know I might be the minority here, but I don't want to see The Miz as the Intercontinental Champion. I think that title is better off on somebody else, someone new, someone fresh, and I think the title needs it, honestly. The title has just been dead. The Miz has done nothing for the title, whether you want to believe it or not. He's done nothing for the title in all of 2017, not like he did in 2016. So we'll see what happens at Raw 25. WWE wanted a big match, and that's a big match for next week's Raw. Sasha Banks versus Sonya Deville, another classic, creative, WWE match here. We're getting at least some part of Team Sasha here versus Team Absolution. Instead of a 6-man tag, we're getting a singles match between the two ongoing factions here. Deville, again, with the straight hair, she looks much better than with the braids. Deville has Banks grounded here in a body scissor. Sasha ends up getting free, makes a comeback, nails a dropkick. Banks then takes Deville down and goes to the second rope. She leaps, but Deville gets knocked out of midair with a big kick. Deville covers for the win. So Sonya Deville gets a big kick as Sasha's coming off the middle rope, and she knocks Sasha out. 1, 2, 3. Sonya Deville picks up the big win over Sasha Banks. So there you go. Do you care? I don't care. I really don't care. We have Matt Hardy versus Heath Slater, and this was a complete throwaway match. Matt Hardy's new graphics look great. I love it. They got, the whole thing is just delete when, he says his spoken word in the music that they got him playing now. He does the delete, and you see delete everywhere on the stage, man. It's very eye-opening. It's very nice. So they fixed the blunder from last week where they had Matt Hardy with his old Hardy Boys graphics. Matt Hardy here gets a delete chant going, hits a neck breaker. He calls for the twist of fate, gets the twist of fate on Heath Slater for the win. Absolutely nothing going on there. Rollins backstage warming up. Jason Jordan walks in, says he looks good, asks if he's ready. Rollins says he's always ready, but they need to talk. Rollins talks about Jordan doing things on his own, like coming out during the Bar's match and getting angled to make this match with Finn Balor. Jordan offers to get his dad to cancel the match. Rollins says no, as he does have some unfinished business with Balor. But Jordan is not his spokesperson. Rollins doesn't have a problem with what Jordan did, but just the way he did it. So Jordan says all right and walks off. So you knew that there's going to be some tension here, and that tension might lead to those two losing the tag team championships at the Royal Rumble. Balor versus Rollins here. This was a very, very good main event. That scene, what I told you with the curb stomp in the end. Balor went for a sling blade. Rollins counters. Rollins nails a sling blade of his own, gets a 2 count. Both get up in opposite corners. Rollins charges, nails Balor. Rollins charges again. He goes for another, but Balor meets him in the middle of the ring with a sling blade. So there's the counter there to Rollins' sling blade. Rollins floors Balor with a huge super kick, 2 count. They trade insiguris. Rollins goes down in the corner. He gets up. Rollins goes up top for a Phoenix Splash, but lands on his feet gracefully. Balor fires back with a dropkick in the corner. Balor goes back up top, but Rollins leaps up to the top with him. Nails the superplex into the Falcon's Arrow, one of my most favorite moves in WWE. So sick. Just a great spot by Seth Rollins. Rollins goes for a frog splash, but Balor gets his knees up. Balor with a close 2 count. Everyone is shocked. This is where the match just really was hitting that next level of intensity, man. This was great shit here. Easily the best stuff on the show besides Braun Strowman. So the Bar and their music hits. They come down the ramp. Cesaro and Sheamus corner Jordan while he's there. Gallows and Anderson on the other side. Jordan moves as a brawl breaks out between the Bar, Gallows, and Anderson. Balor runs the ropes, leaps out, takes them all out with a suicide dive. Rollins and Balor get to the ring. Balor goes up for coup de grace but has to roll through. So Cesaro gets to the apron. Balor drops him. Jordan trips Balor while the referee has his back turned. So a bunch of fucking fuckery here. Rollins takes advantage and nails a curb stomp. Yes, the curb stomp is returned. Whether it be for one night only or not, we have to wait and see. But Balor was fucked up after the curb stomp. And Seth Rollins gets the exciting win. Everybody marked out to see the curb stomp back. Balor is helped up as Rollins' music is playing with Gallows and Anderson behind him. Raw went off the air with Finn Balor looking, like I said, fucked up from the curb stomp, and that was your Monday Night Raw, man. Not a lot of stuff happened, but the stuff with Braun Strowman in the match with Rollins and Balor made it not a complete disaster. But other than that, man, you guys heard my words in the beginning and how I feel about WWE's direction going into the Royal Rumble. Let me know what you guys think down below. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to relax for the rest of the day, man. Thank you guys for the ongoing support. I will be back tonight with SmackDown Live review. There is a change to SmackDown Live. We will talk about it tonight. The United States Championship match was pulled from the Royal Rumble. It is now taking place on the go-home show for the Royal Rumble. So we'll be crowning a new United States champion before we get to the Royal Rumble. And a new word here for the NXT Performance Center, a new trainee for the Performance Center. Ricochet has officially walked into the Performance Center. He is now an official member of NXT. So we'll talk about that on Wednesday when we cover NXT. But thank you guys so much. Follow me on Twitter at JDFROMNY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for notifications. Harrys.com/script, audibletrial.com/offthescript, and barbershopwindow.com for your t-shirts. barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys tonight for SmackDown Live. I'll talk to you later.